Who has been who has been in the industry of consulting since quite some time, is a seasoned executive, as very experienced, so she would be taking our webinar. In case you have any doubts, you can ask your questions in the question box, or if need be, you can mail it to Yashu, that's YASHU @EDENEEV.com. So I'll hand it over to Nazim. She can start the webinar.
Hi everybody, welcome to our webinar on competitive analysis. Competitive analysis, as we have just discussed, is it's a study of different companies in an industry for a company, and we can study the main objective of competitive analysis is to understand your company's position with respect to other companies. It's an essential component of corporate strategy, and it is a very important strategic management tool as it helps you to understand your own place in the industry. Now we have what are the main uses of competitive analysis. Of course, as the name suggests, the main objective of competitive analysis is to understand the strengths and weaknesses. It provides strategic inputs to the management report or the board of directors report. It helps you to identify the gaps in the market. If you perform a correct competitive analysis, you will understand where the opportunities lie, what your competitors are doing, what the consumers demand, and where are the gaps. You can position yourselves amongst those gaps and earn and have a great market share in the market. It also helps you greatly, especially here, to price your goods and services. I think all the companies do this analysis. When you are launching a product or when you are expanding a line, you do analyze your product offering, and you do a comparison of prices of all different competitors, and that's how you price your own product. So competitive analysis is very important here, and then it also gives you ideas for new technology and methodology. Now, types of competitive analysis. There are mainly three types of competitive analysis. One is industry level competitive analysis. Then there's a company level competitive analysis, and then there is competitive mapping, which is just graphic tool to represent what we have, the conclusions that we have from our analysis at industry and company level. Industry level competitive analysis is done globally. You do a survey of how your company is, how your industry is ranking with respect to other industries in the world. What are the positives, negatives, basically done to a Porter analysis model. There is a index called the HHI index, which is a very commonly accepted measure of measuring global industry competition. It is measured by squaring the market share of each company and adding the market shares. It can be between 0 to 10,000, and the higher the HHI is, it indicates the competition is higher in the market. Then we have the company level competitive analysis. That is SWOT analysis, which is the main tool for conducting a company level competitive analysis. And then we go to what are the main components of the competitive analysis. The key components of competitive analysis are what exactly do you study when you are performing a competitive analysis. You study the strategy of the company, of the competitors. You study their background, how long they have been in the industry. You study their financials, their revenue, their expenses, their operating ratios. You study their products. What are their products? What are your products? How you are different from each other. Pricing is very key, as we discussed. Pricing uh, helps you decide that what should be the price of your own product if you're launching a product. Marketing, you need to study what is the marketing strategy for other competitors if you are launching a new product or service. Now we'll see what are the main components we need to study when we are doing a portfolio analysis. A portfolio analysis, the first component of portfolio analysis is a threat of new entrants. This is to a certain industry level competition. The first component is threat of new entrants. Threat of new entrants, you can see, threat of new entrants is something you need to study when you are establishing or entering into a market. If you see that the industry is very easy to enter, it has very low capitalization, or it does not require a very high level of, it is not capital intensive, many people will come and leave the industry. So this will make the industry very, very competitive. The second component is bargaining power of buyers. This you can ascertain this by studying the bargaining power is something that you need to study in order to understand the competitiveness effectively. What are your buyers? What kind of products they purchase? Are your products easily switchable? If they can switch your products easily, the bargaining power of buyers is high. The other one is threat of substitutes. Are there many substitutes available? What is the pricing of substitutes? Where are they available? So availability of substitutes is also a very important factor in determining competitive scenario of a company. So higher substitutes make an industry more competitive. Then bargaining power of suppliers. Now these suppliers are people who supply products to you. Your suppliers can also sometimes forward integrate and be your competition. So someone who is in a PC industry who's selling components of industry may decide that today it's very easy to assemble these parts, and now I want to start assembling and become a vendor rather than just a supplier. So when forward integration of product of the supply chain is easy, then also the competitive, there's very high competition in the industry. Now we'll study the SWOT analysis. SWOT analysis is basically done for understanding the company level analysis. We study, we outline our competitors, we see who are main competitors, and then perform a competitive analysis on all these competitors. So first is understanding the strength. Strengths of a company can be, they have a large market share, they have a high advertising budget. High advertising budget is very important. If your advertising budget is higher, you will have more visibility in the market, and that makes you a very strong player. It is locally adaptable. The company can adapt in itself to different countries. You can adapt your products, you can adapt your services according to culture of the country. If you can do that, it's a strength. Company is a global brand, it's a strength. You can diversify your products easily. Now we'll study the weaknesses of the company. Has a very small customer base, so they're always worried. If one of my customer goes, my revenue will fall short. That's a major weakness for a company. Then the lack of revenue streams. You don't know. You may have a very small product base, and if you have a small product base, it's a major issue, because if competitors come in, it will be very difficult for you to diversify. High employee turnover. When companies have very high employee turnover, it usually affects their performance and is a major weakness for a company. High operating costs is also a very major weakness company for a company. These two are the internal factors. Then we study the external factors to the company, which are opportunities, and main opportunities include international expansion for a company, product expansion, mergers and alliances, and cross-selling. And threats to a company include intense competition, political issues, and economic certainty. These are major external threats to a company. So these are external factors. Now, what are the uses of SWOT analysis? SWOT analysis can offer helpful perspective at any stage of your company's strategy. You can use it to find new solutions to your problems, identifying opportunities, understanding where the changes are possible, and you can also adjust your strategic plans based on your results of SWOT analysis. After performing the comparative analysis, you can also use graphic charts to understand what your competitors are doing and where are the gaps in between. You can map them according to product pricing, market positioning strategies. It helps you to easily take strategic decisions and address gaps in the market. You can perform a competitive mapping according to products. You can do it according to components like price. You can do according to these three examples of competitive mapping. First is for soft drinks. It's based on the product attributes. Is it what kind of a product it is? It's there are around 7 or 8 soft drinks, and they'll be mapped according to the product attribute. That is, if they are sweet or if they are not sweet, and if their advertising message is fun or if their advertising message is serious. So as you can see here, you can have most of the soft drinks fall in the category of fun and very sweet. So if you are, you can launch a new brand in the other category, which is maybe not so sweet and fun. So this helps you to address a gap in the market. The other math also makes you understand your position relating to the price and quality. What is low price, high quality is economy, and high price, high quality is a luxury market. The other one shows you a chart of soaps, and they have been categorized according to the product quality. So this is what competition mapping is all about. You can find a lot of this information. On the internet, from company websites, finance websites, and bridge websites. Company websites, you can go to the website of that company and find information about their products and services, their financials. Finance websites like Google, Yahoo, and Motley Fool, they provide you a lot of information on finance. So you can get all the financial information like a company's revenue, expenses from those websites. And bridge websites are something like this blog, which provides you summarized information on a company or industry. If you go to a bridge website, they will usually list all companies in an industry, and they will provide you links where you can go and access information about the company. You can access information like file management, ratio analysis, financials, stock charts from these websites. So this is pretty much about competitive analysis. If you have questions, I'll be happy to take them.
Hi Nazia, that was pretty interesting. I would like to start by asking a few questions. Can you elaborate around the HHI indicator that you spoke of? It says it's Huffington
Yes.
Hirschman Index. So why is it squared and
Yes.
added and
See, it's basically you need to understand, if you want to understand the industry concentration, which is the level of concentration in the industry, then you use this index. Squaring, why it is squared, it's the formula for finding the concentration. So if you have 5 companies in the industry and you know their market share, you square their market share and you add them, and you'll find a number between 0 and 10,000. So
okay?
if the number is closer to 10, if the number is closer to 10,000, it indicates that the level of competition is very high in the market, and which means that a few number of firms have large market share.
Right. How frequently is it used and how precise is this indicator because it's squared and added?
It's a very precise indicator, and it is used by many government agencies as well. I think the U.S. Department that monitors the market concentration uses this index as their main indicator to understand how competitive the industry is. If it gets higher, if the concentration becomes very higher, they do try to, they do try to get in more people in the industry. So it's a very precise measure, and it is used by government organizations as well.
Oh, okay. There's another very basic question that comes with competitive analysis. That is, how do you get the data? Like, how do you get your competitors' data, like the market share or the number of items sold or what is their average price? Still, you can retrieve from somewhere. But how do you get things like
Yeah.
the number of customers or their customer base and the percentage of market share?
See, customer percentage of market share is something, it depends on the industry. Like if you see the printing and publishing industry, for market share is something that it's usually available in the market. If you go through news for a particular industry, you'll always find information about market shares or publishing industry. Everyone tells that, we have these number of subscribers, we have these number of subscribers. So, like, it's easy for a publishing industry, and it might be difficult for uh, some other industry where the information is not so precise. So the information actually depends upon industry to industry.
I agree.
It's I'm saying you'll have to scan news releases. You'll have to go on your competitors' websites. Financials are very easy to get. Like we all know, you can get it on websites like Yahoo, Google. And then I also showed you like these bridge sites which give you information about, they will line competitors for you, they'll give you links to their profile, they'll give you links to all the information that you need about competitors. So the main thing is finding information for companies that are listed on a stock exchange is very easy. You'll always get it from one place or the other. But finding information for companies that are not listed, which are private companies, it's very difficult. You need to do primary market research for finding accurate information.
Right. So what I was just saying is that for a company like EduPristine, we are essentially finance training providers. So our direct competitors are say Simply Learn and Kaplan Schwesser. And it's quite difficult, I'm guessing, to get data for such things like when you have an online university. So the number of students might be easy to get from their site, but getting the actual number might be quite difficult, right?
Yeah, but you can get a sense of who actually their students are, maybe from their like you can see statistics on YouTube. You can see how many people are attending their webinars, or you can see how many people are viewing their videos. You can get a sense of how popular they are.
Okay. Then
You can sometimes you can, yeah, sometimes you can get broad statistics. Sometimes you can get very specific statistics.
Oh, okay. So you basically what you're trying to say is there are different means, so you need to compile and amalgamate the entire all the possible channels, the numbers from
Yes,
there.
you need to be very creative when you are getting data about competitors.
Okay. Now, another question that came to my mind was that you mentioned there were these three methods. One was Porter's five forces, then there's SWOT analysis, and there's competitor mapping. So each one of them, I believe, has their
Yeah,
own pluses and minuses. Like when you speak of Porter's analysis, it does a 360 degrees comparison. You have buyers, sellers, new
yeah,
entrants, and threat of substitutes. So essentially it's
yeah,
external factors, but it does include the internal factors as well. When you come to SWOT analysis, it
okay,
does both in equal with a 50% weightage to each. You have strengths and weaknesses which are internal
yeah,
and opportunities and threats which are external factors. And then you have competitor
yeah.
mapping, which is again completely about the external competitors.
Which is basically, yeah, this is basically graphically mapping what information you have on competitors. You want me to tell you what are the advantages and disadvantages of speed?
Yeah, like my question was that which of these is better and under which situation, which one do you use? Like in some cases you would go for Porters over SWOT. So under which situation,
Yeah,
which
of
one do you
course,
use?
of course. If you are studying the industry as a whole, then you need quota analysis. But if you want to, quota analysis is a macro level study. Then you have to study the competitiveness of an industry. Suppose you have $10 million of cash and you want to understand, should I get into publishing industry or should I get into I don't know, cola industry. Then you will perform industry quota analysis to understand where the competitive level is high. Okay, and as an individual investor or if you want to study one particular company, then you use SWOT analysis. SWOT analysis is a micro tool. Like you have $10,000 of cash and you want to invest it into one company and you have to decide which one it is. Then you can use SWOT analysis to study each company in detail. So portfolio analysis is a study for industry and SWOT analysis is a study of a company. And competitive mapping is merely mapping that information that you get from SWOT or Porter into a graph so that you can understand that information more effectively.
Okay. Another question that comes to my mind is when we speak of these components of the competitive analysis, you have listed around six features, six key components. So which of these are important and which of these are very difficult to work on? Which of these are not really important? Like you don't even bother finding data as much for it.
Well, like I said, these are the key components. So of course, these are very critical components, and you need to study all of these if you are trying to study competitors. Uh, I mean, of course, you need to study this strategy. Of course, you need to study the background. All these six components are very critical. I wouldn't rule any one of them out. I think all of them are very important.
Okay. And which of these are very difficult to get data for, like marketing and pricing and strategy? I mean,
See,
everything has
pricing, yeah.
different
Pricing is
ways.
something you can get easily in the market. Uh, Products is something you can get easily in the market. Financials you can get from the website. I think it's the strategy which is the most difficult because strategy, no one discloses their strategy outrightly in the market. It's in the minds of the management of the company. So you have to maybe understand their strategy from what they are doing in the market. You can understand their strategy from the types of acquisitions they are making, or you can try to understand their strategy from the marketing that they're doing. So a strategy is something that you need to induce. It's not directly there for you to read.
All right. Another question that I had that
Yeah.
you generally these analysis are done by the senior management level. So is it that the topmost people do all these Porter, SWOT, and the three different analysis, or is it that the topmost, like the CXO as they say, that level does the
Mhm.
Porter's analysis and the lower level does the SWOT analysis since it's a micro tool? Like how exactly does it gel in with the hierarchy of a company?
Well, I think this is these analysis, they usually contribute to the strategy of the company. So they are usually undertaken by the senior management of the company.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that more or less covers everything related to competitive analysis, and it includes all the questions from the audience as well. So if anyone
Yeah.
has
There's
any...
maybe one thing I can also cover here. There's one drawback of competitive analysis, and it is that if you do a lot of competitive analysis, you tend to end up copying your competitors instead of doing your own creative, marketing. Instead of doing your own creative products, you tend to start copying, start following what they're doing. So it is very critical when you are performing a competitive analysis that you keep in mind that you have your own strategy, and this analysis is just for studying what they're doing and not copying what they're doing.
So basically, it's not only defense, it's also offense that needs to be equally in
Yeah.
action.
Yes. Yes.
That's in fact a very good insight, because generally this I would personally agree to, that whenever this competitive analysis, since after looking at a company's profile that using the strategy they managed to render benefits, I mean the strategy rendered them benefits, so people tend to adopt that, and yes, that's completely right that people tend to copy the same strategy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I believe that brings us to the end of this webinar with all the questions from the audience also taken. In case there's anything else that you would like to add, Nazia?
No, I guess that's pretty much it. If you have any more questions, I'll be happy to take them.
Yeah, I think that's about it. It was a pretty clear webinar and all the details are explained very well. So thank you, and thank you everyone for attending. In case you have any
Thank
other
you.
doubts, you can mail them to help@edupristine.com, where our in-house experts would be available to clear all your doubts. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.